early 20th century, aviation was still in its infancy, a burgeoning field that promised to shrink the vast distances of our world. It was an era marked by daring flights and record-breaking achievements, a time when the sky was not the limit but a new frontier to be conquered. Among the pioneers of this golden age of flight was Amelia Earhart, a name that would become synonymous with courage, innovation, and mystery. Born on July 24, 1897, in Atchison, Kansas, Amelia Mary Earhart exhibited a spirit of adventure from an early age. Her passion for the skies began to take shape as she grew older, and she eventually carved her name into the annals of aviation history. In 1932, she became the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic Ocean, a feat that earned her international acclaim. Earhart was not just a pilot. She was a symbol of progress, a beacon for women's rights, and an advocate for the advancement of aviation technology. By 1937, Earhart had set her sights on an even more ambitious goal: to circumnavigate the globe. This flight, she believed, would not only cement her legacy, but also demonstrate the potential of long-distance air travel. Accompanying her on this perilous journey was Fred Noonan, a seasoned navigator with a wealth of experience charting courses across the Pacific Ocean. Noonan, born in 1893 in Cook County, Illinois, had a distinguished career in both maritime and aerial navigation. He had charted many commercial airline routes across the Pacific, making him an invaluable partner for Earhart's ambitious endeavor. Their aircraft, a Lockheed Model 10E Electra, was a state-of-the-art machine equipped with the latest in navigation and communication technology. Earhart and Noonan departed from Miami on June 1, 1937, and over the next month, they made their way across South America, Africa, India, and Southeast Asia. By the time they reached New Guinea on June 29, they had already covered approximately 22,000 miles. The final and most challenging leg of their journey lay ahead: a flight across the vast expanse of the Pacific Ocean to Howland Island, a tiny speck of land that would serve as a crucial refueling stop. On July 2, 1937, Earhart and Noonan took off from heading toward Howland Island. The distance was approximately 2,556 miles, a daunting stretch that required precise navigation and careful fuel management. The U.S. Coast Guard cutter Itasca was stationed near Howland Island, ready to provide radio guidance and support. However, as the hours passed, it became clear that something had gone terribly wrong. Radio transmissions from Earhart indicated that she and Noonan were struggling to locate Howland Island. Their messages grew increasingly desperate, with Earhart stating, "We must be on you, but cannot see you, but gas is running low." Despite the Itasca's efforts to communicate with the Electra, a combination of technical issues and miscommunications thwarted their attempts. The last confirmed transmission from Earhart was received at 8:43 a.m., in which she reported, "We are on the line 157-337. We will repeat this message. We will repeat this on 6,210 kilocycles. Wait." And then silence. The disappearance of Amelia Earhart and Fred Noonan sparked one of the most extensive search and rescue operations in history. The U.S. Navy and Coast Guard scoured the Pacific, covering an area of 250,000 square miles, but no trace of the Electra or its crew was ever found. The official conclusion was that the aircraft had run out of fuel and crashed into the ocean, but the lack of concrete evidence left the door open for speculation and alternative theories. One of the most enduring theories is that Earhart and Noonan may have landed on Gardner Island, now known as Nikumaroro, part of the Phoenix Islands in the western Pacific Ocean. This theory gained traction due to a range of documented, archaeological, and anecdotal evidence suggesting that the Electra could have landed on a flat reef near the island. Some researchers believe that Earhart and Noonan may have survived for a time as castaways, sending sporadic radio signals in a desperate attempt to be rescued. Nikumaroro is a remote and desolate atoll, characterized by thick vegetation, coconut palms, and a large central lagoon. The island's geography and lack of fresh water made it an inhospitable place for long-term survival. However, expeditions to the island have uncovered intriguing artifacts, including parts of a folding pocket knife, remnants of campfires, and U.S. beauty and skincare products that may date to the 1930s. These findings suggest that someone, possibly Earhart and Noonan, may have lived on the island for a brief period before succumbing to the harsh conditions. Despite these tantalizing clues, the mystery of Amelia Earhart's disappearance remains unsolved. Over the decades, numerous expeditions have been launched to uncover the truth, including efforts by the International Group for Historic Aircraft Recovery, TIRE, and ocean explorer Robert Ballard. Yet, each search has ended in frustration, with no definitive evidence to confirm what happened to Earhart and Noonan. Theories abound, ranging from the plausible to the fantastical. Some suggest that Earhart was a spy for the U.S. government and was captured by the Japanese, while others propose that she survived and lived out her days under an assumed identity. The most widely accepted explanation, however, remains the crash and sink theory, which posits that the Electra ran out of fuel and ditched at sea, its wreckage lost to the depths of the Pacific. The enigma of Amelia Earhart's final flight continues to captivate the imagination, a testament to her enduring legacy as a pioneer of aviation. Her story is one of triumph and tragedy, a narrative that speaks to the human spirit's relentless pursuit of discovery and the mysteries that still lie beyond our reach. As we reflect on her life and the events of that fateful day in 1937, we are reminded of the vastness of our world and the courage it takes to explore its unknown corners. In the end, Amelia Earhart's disappearance is more than a historical puzzle. It is a symbol of the unquenchable thirst for adventure and the enduring quest for answers. Her legacy lives on, inspiring new generations to look to the skies and dream of what lies beyond the horizon. And so, the mystery endures, a story that will continue to be told, debated, and explored for years to come. The protagonist is faced with a final, daunting challenge: to continue searching the waters around Nikumaroro, despite the lack of conclusive evidence, or to explore new leads that could take them in a completely different direction. This decision weighs heavily on their mind, as the stakes have never been higher. The protagonist knows that whatever path they choose, the search for Amelia Earhart will continue to be a story of perseverance, hope, and the unyielding quest for truth. In the end, the protagonist's journey is a testament to the enduring human spirit. The search for Amelia Earhart is a story that transcends time, capturing the imagination of generations. It is a story of adventure, determination, and the relentless pursuit of answers. As we move forward, the legacy of Amelia Earhart lives on, inspiring future generations of explorers and dreamers to reach for the skies and to never give up on their quest for knowledge. The search for Amelia Earhart had taken the protagonist from the archives of history to the remote, desolate shores of Nikumaroro. Each discovery, each piece of evidence, had brought them closer to understanding what might have happened on that fateful day in 1937. Yet, as they stood on the brink of what could be a breakthrough, the weight of uncertainty loomed large. The reevaluation of clues was not just a necessity. It was a lifeline in the murky waters of speculation and half-truths. The protagonist sat down with the latest findings, the skeletal remains that had caused such a stir. The initial analysis suggested they could belong to a female of European descent, but further testing was required. The protagonist knew that this was a critical juncture. The stakes were higher than ever, and the pressure to find definitive answers was immense. They reached out to forensic experts, seeking their insights and hoping for a breakthrough that could confirm the identity of the remains. As the forensic analysis progressed, the protagonist revisited the various theories and evidence gathered over the years. They pored over the Itasca's radio logs, the testimonies of the crew, and the artifacts found on Nikumaroro. Patterns began to emerge, and new insights came to light. The protagonist realized that the miscommunications between Earhart and the Itasca were more complex than previously thought. It wasn't just a matter of technical failures. There were human errors and procedural gaps that had compounded the tragedy. The protagonist also re-examined the artifacts found on Nikumaroro. The pieces of aluminum, the compact mirror, the freckle cream, all these items were scrutinized once more. They consulted with aviation experts to determine if the aluminum matched the specifications of Earhart's Electra. The experts' analysis provided a glimmer of hope, suggesting that the aluminum could indeed be from the Electra, but it was not conclusive. The protagonist knew that they needed more evidence to solidify this connection. In the midst of this reevaluation, the protagonist faced a moral dilemma. They were approached by a media outlet offering substantial funding for an exclusive story on the investigation. The offer was tempting, as it would provide the resources needed to continue the search. However, the protagonist was wary of turning the investigation into a media spectacle. They had to balance the need for funding with the integrity of the search for truth. After much deliberation, they decided to accept the funding, but on the condition that the investigation would remain transparent and focused on uncovering the truth. As the analysis of the skeletal remains neared completion, the protagonist received a call from the forensic team. The results were in, and they were inconclusive. The remains could not be definitively linked to Earhart or Noonan. This was a significant setback, and the protagonist felt the weight of disappointment. However, they knew that the search must continue. They turned their attention to other leads, hoping to find new avenues to explore. One such lead came from an unexpected source. A historian specializing in World War II had come across documents suggesting that Earhart and Noonan might have been captured by the Japanese and taken to Saipan. The protagonist was initially skeptical, but the historian's research was thorough and compelling. They decided to investigate this theory further, reaching out to researchers and historians who had studied the Japanese capture hypothesis. The investigation into the Japanese capture theory led the protagonist to interview islanders in the Marshall Islands who claimed to have witnessed a plane crash and the subsequent capture of two European-looking individuals. These accounts were anecdotal but consistent. The protagonist also examined wartime records and documents, looking for any mention of Earhart or Noonan. While the evidence was circumstantial, it added another layer to the complex narrative of Earhart's disappearance. As the protagonist delved deeper into this theory, they encountered significant obstacles. Access to certain archives and documents was restricted, and the political sensitivities surrounding the issue made it challenging to obtain information. Additionally, there were critics who dismissed the Japanese capture theory as far-fetched and speculative. The protagonist had to navigate these challenges carefully, ensuring that their investigation remained objective and evidence-based. Despite these hurdles, the protagonist pressed on. They knew that the search for Amelia Earhart was not just about solving a historical mystery. It was about honoring the legacy of a pioneering aviator and finding closure for her family and admirers. The protagonist's determination was unwavering, and they continued to explore every lead, no matter how tenuous. In the midst of this intense investigation, the protagonist faced a significant obstacle that forced them to reevaluate their approach. A critical piece of evidence, a photograph purportedly showing Earhart and Noonan in Japanese custody, was debunked. The photograph had been published years before their disappearance, rendering it irrelevant to the case. This revelation was a major blow, and the protagonist felt the sting of disappointment. However, this setback also provided an opportunity for reflection. The protagonist realized that they needed to be more discerning in evaluating evidence and theories. They decided to take a step back and reassess their strategy. They reached out to experts in various fields, including aviation, forensics, and history, seeking their guidance and insights. This collaborative approach provided new perspectives and helped the protagonist refine their investigation. The reevaluation of clues led to a renewed focus on the crash and sink theory. The protagonist consulted with oceanographers and underwater archaeologists to understand the challenges of locating the Electra's wreckage in the vast Pacific Ocean. They also reviewed the data from previous expeditions, including Robert Ballard's 2019 search. While no conclusive evidence had been found, the data provided valuable information about the search area and the conditions of the ocean floor. The protagonist decided to launch a new expedition, utilizing the latest technology and methodologies. They secured funding and assembled a team of experts, each bringing their unique skills and knowledge to the search. The expedition was meticulously planned, with a focus on areas that had not been thoroughly explored in previous searches. As the expedition set sail, the protagonist felt a mix of anticipation and apprehension. The search for Amelia Earhart had been a long and arduous journey, filled with highs and lows. Yet, the possibility of finding the Electra and uncovering the truth kept them going. The team worked tirelessly, scanning the ocean floor and analyzing data, each day bringing them closer to their goal. The tension and suspense built as the expedition progressed. The protagonist knew that they were on the verge of a breakthrough, but the uncertainty of the outcome weighed heavily on their mind. They remained focused, driven by the hope that they would finally solve the mystery that had captivated the world for decades. In the end, the protagonist's journey was a testament to the enduring human spirit and the relentless pursuit of knowledge. The search for Amelia Earhart was not just about finding a missing plane. It was about uncovering the truth and honoring the legacy of a pioneering aviator. As the expedition continued, the protagonist remained hopeful, knowing that each step brought them closer to the answers they sought. The story of Amelia Earhart would continue to inspire and captivate, a symbol of adventure, determination, and the unyielding quest for discovery. Standing on the deck of the research vessel, the protagonist gazed out at the endless expanse of the Pacific Ocean. Years of investigation, countless hours of research, and unwavering determination had led to this moment, the best chance yet to solve the mystery of Amelia Earhart's disappearance. The latest expedition, equipped with cutting-edge technology, held the promise of uncovering the truth. As the underwater drones descended into the depths, the tension on the ship was palpable. Every team member understood the mission's significance. Reflecting on the journey so far, the protagonist felt a mix of hope and trepidation. This search was not just about finding a missing plane. It was about honoring the legacy of a pioneering aviator and bringing closure to one of history's greatest mysteries. Days stretched into weeks as the team meticulously scanned the ocean floor. The protagonist, reviewing the data, felt the weight of each passing moment. The vast, challenging search area tested their resolve, yet the possibility of a breakthrough kept them going. The protagonist's mind raced with thoughts of what they might find. Pieces of the Electra, personal items, or perhaps even remains that could finally confirm the fate of Earhart and Noonan. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, a breakthrough occurred. The sonar images revealed an anomaly on the ocean floor, something that didn't belong. The team sprang into action, deploying the underwater drones to investigate further. The protagonist's heart pounded as the live feed from the drones appeared on the screen. Grainy at first, the images gradually revealed the outline of an aircraft. Holding their breath, the protagonists scarcely dared to believe what they were seeing. The wreckage, partially buried in the sand, was unmistakably that of a Lockheed Model 10E Electra. The team erupted in a mixture of cheers and gasps, their efforts finally bearing fruit. Overwhelmed with emotion, the protagonist knew this was a moment that would be etched in history. As the drones captured detailed images of the wreckage, questions flooded the protagonist's mind. How had the Electra ended up here? What had happened in those final moments? The discovery, while monumental, was just the beginning. The protagonist knew they needed to piece together the story of Earhart and Noonan's last flight to understand the sequence of events that led to this tragic end. The team worked tirelessly, documenting every detail of the wreckage. The protagonist, poring over the images, noted the damage to the aircraft. The fuselage was intact, but the wings were sheared off, likely from the impact with the ocean. Personal items scattered around the wreckage provided poignant reminders of the lives lost. A pair of aviator goggles, a navigation chart, and a logbook, each item told a story, adding depth to the narrative. Reaching out to experts in aviation history and forensic analysis, the protagonist sought insights into the wreckage's condition and what it could reveal about the final moments of the flight. The experts examining the images provided valuable context. The damage suggested a controlled ditching, indicating that Earhart and Noonan had attempted to land the Electra on the water. Piecing together the evidence, the protagonist formed a clearer picture of what might have happened. Earhart's final transmission, reporting that they were flying along a line of position, suggested they had been navigating using celestial methods. The strong radio signals received by the Itasca indicated they were close to Howland Island but unable to locate it visually. The protagonist surmised that low fuel and deteriorating weather conditions had forced Earhart to make the difficult decision to ditch the aircraft in the ocean. The discovery of the wreckage provided a sense of closure, but the protagonist knew the story was far from over. They continued to explore the personal stories of Earhart and Noonan, seeking to honor their legacy. Reaching out to the families, they shared the findings and provided long-awaited answers. The emotional responses from the families, a mix of relief and sorrow, underscored the human element of this historical mystery. Reflecting on the journey, the protagonist stood once more on the deck of the research vessel, gazing out at the horizon. The search for Amelia Earhart had been a story of perseverance, hope, and the relentless pursuit of truth. The discovery of the Electra's wreckage was a testament to the enduring human spirit and the power of determination. While the mystery of Earhart's disappearance might never be fully solved, they had taken a significant step in uncovering the truth. The protagonist's journey was not just about finding answers. It was about honoring the legacy of a woman who dared to dream and push the boundaries of what was possible. Amelia Earhart's story was one of triumph and tragedy, a narrative that spoke to the human spirit's relentless pursuit of discovery. As the protagonist looked to the future, they knew the search for Amelia Earhart would continue to inspire and remind us all of the courage it takes to explore the unknown. The protagonist's quest had reached a resolution, but the story of Amelia Earhart would live on, a beacon of hope and inspiration. The search for truth, the journey of discovery, and the legacy of a pioneering aviator would continue to captivate and inspire, reminding us that some mysteries are worth pursuing, no matter how elusive they may be. The story of Amelia Earhart, a tale of adventure, determination, and the unyielding quest for answers, would endure, a testament to the enduring human spirit.